All right, in this video, our math goal is to subtract fractions with an uncommon denominator. This is also a biggie. So if you got adding with fractions with an uncommon denominator, then this will be totally easy, okay? It's the same concept. All right, so start down by writing down your math goal. Subtract fractions with a common denominator and what you know, anything you already know, okay? All right, so let's review. So to find a common denominator, remember this was from the last lesson. Does the lowest denominator go into the biggest denominator? If yes, use the bigger denominator. So for example, lower denominator 2, does 2 go into 6? Yes. So that would be 6 would be my common denominator, okay? Or, so always try this first. Second, skip count using multiples of the denominator. So denominator of 2, denominator of 5, I'm going to skip count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 5, 10, 15. What do they have in common? Well, I can see that they have 10 in common, so I would use 10 as my common denominator, okay? And last strategy, multiply the denominators together. This will always work. Use this as the last resort because it doesn't always give you the lowest common denominator, and then you have to do a lot of work to simplify. So use that as your last resort. Always try 1 and 2 first. If you do 4 or 5 multiples and you still don't have a common denominator, then by all means, use the denominators together to get it, all right? Okay, so let's try one. 1/2 minus 1/5. So first I'm going to see, does 2 go into 5? No, that was my first strategy, right? See if the lowest denominator goes into the biggest denominator. No, it does not. So then I'm going to write down my multiples. So I'm going to use 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And that does not really look like a 6, right? All right, then I'm going to use my multiples of 5. 5, 10. Oh, I can already see that I have a common multiple. My multiple is 10. So my lowest common denominator is 10. So now I can just rewrite this vertically because it's going to be much easier. I'm going to rewrite 1/2 minus 1/5. That does not look like a 2. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to solve. So my common denominator is 10. And now I'm going to say 5 goes into 10 how many times? 2 times, right? 1, 2. So I'm going to multiply the bottom by 2. So if I multiply the bottom by 2, I got to multiply the top by 2. 1 times 2 is 2. Now I'm going to do the same thing to my 1/2. Okay. Now where did my 2 go? There it goes. 2 times what is 10? 2 times 5, right? Went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So I'm going to multiply the bottom by 5. Means I multiply the top by 5. 1 times 5 is 5. And then I just simply subtract. 5 take away 2 is 3. So my answer is 3/10. So see, just like addition, except we're subtracting. All right. So now I want you to try one. So 3/4 minus 1/8. So go ahead and try that one and then come back to me. All right, so hopefully you got 5/8. So the first thing I did is I rewrote it and then I said, does 4 go into 8? Yes. So then I knew my common denominator was 8. And then I just rewrote it. 8 times 1 is 8, 1 times 1 is 1, 4 times 2 is 8, 3 times 2 is 6, 6 take away 1 is 5. 5/8 is my answer. All right, try this one. 9/10 minus 4/15, and then come back to me. All right, So hopefully you got 19 out of 30, 19 thirtieths. So first thing I did, does 10 go into 15? No. So then I did my multiples, 10, 20, 30, 40, 15, 30. I saw that 30 was in common. So 30 was my common denominator. 15 times what gives me 30? 2, it goes in 2 times, 1, 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top, so I multiply both. 10 times what is 30? 3, multiply the bottom by 3, so I've got to multiply the top by 3. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 take away 8 is 19 thirtieths. All right, so now we have a word problem. Miss Duchette and Mrs. Holguin are in the same book club. Miss Duchette read 5/7 of the way through this month's book. Mrs. Holguin is 3/5 of the way through the book. Who has read more? How much more has she read? So, who has read more, right? How do I have to figure this out? What do you think? Subtraction, right? Because I'm comparing. So, I'm going to subtract this one. So, but first, I got to figure out, which number is bigger? Because I got to find out who's read more, right? So, I'm comparing Miss Duchette. So, I'm going to put a D for Miss Duchette. And I'm going to put 5/7 under Miss Duchette because she has read 5/7. I'm going to put an H for Holguin. And I've read 3/5. So first I got to find out who's read more. All right, they're asking me to compare. So I got to see which one is bigger. So do you remember how to compare fractions? Right? The different ways of doing it, right? So 5/7 is more than a half. 3/5 is also more than a half. So comparing it to my benchmark is really not going to be helpful in this case, right? But what can I do? I can cross multiply, right? My common denominator is 35. So I'm going to compare it out of 35. Maybe. Yeah, there it goes. It's just slow. Takes a while for my pen to catch up. Okay. So then I'm going to do 7 times 3 is 21. And then 5 times 5 is 25. So which one's bigger, 25 out of 35 or 21 out of 35? Right, 25 out of 35. And so who had that? 5/7 was Miss Duchette. So who's read more? Miss Duchette has read more. And how much more has she read? So what do I have to do to figure that out? Subtract, right? So now I'm going to just simply subtract. So I'm going to take the biggest number, which was this one's 5/7. And since I already found a common denominator, I already have the numbers here, I'm just going to use that. I don't have to redo it. So I'm just going to do 25 out of 35 minus, where's my 3? Minus 21 out of 35. So 25 take away 21 is 4/35. And I can simplify that, can I? Can I divide 4 by 2? Yeah. Can I divide 35 by 2? No. So that's my simplest answer. So Miss Duchette has read 4/35 more than myself. Okay. Okay, so now you try this one. Audie used 7/9 yard of ribbon in her dress. Ava used 5/6 yard of ribbon in her dress. Which girl used more and how much more did she use? So you try this one and come back to me. Okay, so for this one, 5/6 and 7/9. 7/9 is 2 away from making a whole. 5/6 is only 1 away from making a whole. So then I thought, probably 5/6, but I want to make sure. So I know for sure I can double check by using cross multiplication, right? So I did my 7/9 and 5/6. Common denominator is 54, put 54 for both. Cross multiplied, 9 times 5 is 45, 6 times 7 is 42. So 45 is bigger than 42. So 5/6 is bigger, and that was Ava. So which girl used more? Ava, how much more? So then I had to subtract, right? 45 take away 42 is 354. So then I thought, I wonder if I can reduce that. So then I said, does 2 go into 3? No, but 3 can be divided by 3. Can I divide 54 by 3? So then I did it over here and I saw that, yes, I can divide 54 by 3. It goes in 18 times. So if I divide the top by 3, then I can divide the bottom by 3 and I get 1/18. So she used 1/18 more. So this is what I mean about um, if you use the opposite numbers, right? It's not always going to give you the simplest fraction, and then you have to do more work, more division. All right. All right. So what did you learn today? So in your math notebook, write down what you learned, proof of learning by solving a similar problem. So do a subtraction problem and do a reflection question. Do a reflection or a question.